rundown show. I mean, it's been something real wicked with this telephone. I don't know what's going on, but this my old tap. I've been trying to get my new one, but you know, got to sponsor everybody else. My lady lost her phone and had to, man, had to replace her phone for the sixth, seventh time. Y'all know she going through her thing, but anyway, man, I'm able to go live. I should walk over to my car real quick and move it closer to this door because I'm further on the end down here by Lakeshore, like by Columbus Drive. Anyway, um, let's talk about this real quick, man. I got a disclaimer before we get into this discussion about the Knicks. Um, they said Diddy got some new charges pending on him right now, and they keep talking about how heinous his this this situation has been for the victims. And I mean, I don't understand like why they not coming out with this stuff? Why they didn't come out with this stuff when it was that time to come out with it? When he was really at the apex of his game. I'm talking about they could have really benefited from it. Even with Cassidy getting the 20 million, this is almost a decade later when that stuff occurred. We talking about 2012. It's damn near 13 years later, almost a dub, and they bringing up all these allegations. That's why I said on my podcast yesterday. I'm trying to see where it stems from. Like, was he still in the act of committing these type of crimes? Okay, the racketeering, getting them money and stuff, the solicitation or whatever. You know, him transporting people across states and state lines. And he was changing his image, everything. It's like I don't understand. Like, how did this all come about? Like so quick about. But I'm assessing from this. I'm looking at it in a different perspective. This is all a PR crisis. Now, y'all know I'm in media. I went to school for this stuff. My mentor, but my practitioner, Marilyn Olsen at Chicago State. She worked at the Daily Herald, but that was my minor, in college of public relations. What's going on? Lindsay Priest, but she always told us like sometimes bad press is good press, especially if your career is starting to take a tailspin. And as you know, we seen that. Diddy tried. He came back with a couple singles, and it just started working. I mean, he, he was popping when he did the mixtape. I've been listening to the mixtapes that he did with Rick Ross back in like 2012. I mean, 13, 14, 15. But since then it's like it's been kind of hard to you know rebound from that. Because you got Kanye West out there. And it's like all the music has changed so fast. And it's like you got to keep up with the time. And it's like it's different now. So it's like him as an artist part. I think that's over with. He still can buzz. But come on, we 50 now, dog. Like it's like me underground. I can kill him still, like what I'm doing now. But him at 50 years old trying to be out there like it's a rap. My cousin was saying that it's over with. Like for all them the LLs and all them, they trying. Only one that really got a shot at it is Eminem and probably Snoop. 50. He's still out there too. Of course, Jeezy. Like I think Jeezy hard right, man. I'm talking about like I've been bumping his mixtape, just assessing and analyzing people's styles and how they put their records together and stuff. And and Jeezy, I think when he did those mixtapes, uh, the last two mixtapes, man, ain't nobody fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, that shit it get you up. You know what I'm saying? Get you ready. And, Jeezy, I think he it, man. But it's like he knows time it was over too because he already said he was retiring and stuff. And he dropped the mic. That's what I did that. I did that in what 19. I dropped the mic technically after my FA2 record. I dropped the mic. Because it's like I had reached my apex. I don't think if Kobe would have not came, I probably still would have been sustaining and stuff. But the new crowd coming in, you got some shit out here. You can't even understand these new motherfuckers, man. I'm talking about for real. They talking some goo goo gaga type shit, like some babies. I'm like, fuck these niggas talking. But I'm just keeping it real, man. How drastic it has changed. And him, you know, being an entrepreneur and he mogul and stuff, and he got a lot of stuff going on. I think his problems really stemmed from when he started cashing out, and that was the issue. He wasn't trying to buy no more shit. He was the opposite of Bill Cosby and all the rest of them. He started cashing his money out, and that was a problem because he was on a whole nother plight. Same as Kanye. Kanye is like he was done. You see, he dropped the mic. Technically, he was really after Don the West. It was over with. Kanye ain't thinking about no damn music right now. He on some other type of stuff right now. He trying to be a trillionaire. He hanging around billionaires. Elon Musk and them. It's like he in a big B club, the billionaire. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and he trying to do the same. Him, Jigga, all of them. Like fuck music. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm at the same. I'm chasing a million right now. I'm getting close. Shit, I dropped the mic. I was telling to be done with it. But just to get some more change out of it. That's why I'm putting some more stuff out there. I'm gonna keep putting stuff out there too, but I'm trying to get a little artist like a female because it's a trend right now. I'm trying to groom my little niece, but she got her own little stuff popping. So, you know, we're in different lanes right now. You know what I'm saying? We into corporate America, like corporate does now in the stock market. You know what I'm saying? Like investing in these corporations and getting money from them. Let the corporation pay you. That's basically what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah. But anyway, aside from that, man, let's talk about this Knicks situation. I'm glad I'm able to go live, and this is my sports rundown show, so it makes sense. I don't understand it. Now, I got love for New York, but the Knicks, no. Ever since the Jordan era, when he was going up against Pat Ewing and them and all this and that, that's like been a real rivalry type of situation. And even when Derrick Rose defected to the Knicks, I was like, wow, why? Why did you go to New York, man? It's like you could have came back to Shot Town and put us where we need to be at. You went out there and spent all that time, wasted all that time out there in New York for nothing. And I got a real big beef with them, because they really hollered me for nothing. And I think they should have gave me a nine, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, they basketball team would never win again. I'm just being brutally honest because you gotta understand the structure in New York. It's not for their athletics. It's not for sports. It's for their entertainment. You know, primarily the music. Like what's going on with Diddy. He carrying New York right now. This is carrying New York. The Knicks, it's okay. They get a little buzz and stuff, but come on, let's be realistic, man. It's like it's always been that way. You know, since the early '90s. You know, when they kicked it off, and it's like they had the light ever since. And it kind of went. They was kind of Atlanta was kind of taking their spotlight, but they still got it. They got all the mediums out there. It's like they got all the radio plugs out there. It's like even some of them bad like K Slade, they got too many out there. They pretty much took over. They took over. They locked their city down. And I mean Chicago, we trying to do that now, but it's still a hard task. It's nothing like how the control they get out there. They got billionaires. You got Jigga, you got Diddy, You know what I'm saying? It's a whole bunch of them, man. They got a lot of money. They control their media. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that made me kind of, mad about our situation. Why twisting them when they had it. You know, even my cousin over there, my cousin, he fell back though. He doing this thing. But why they ain't not trying to do the same? You know, we can't even lock our city down, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we let the fame ride away. You know, and I just don't understand it. Like everybody else in their city, they lock their cities down. You know, they control their media. You know what I'm saying? They dictate what's gonna happen. And Newsom was an advocate. She was talking about how we don't get no support here. We don't really need nobody's support. All we gotta do is lock. We had the opportunity to lock the city down, even with our youngsters right now. But look what's going on with them. They keep killing each other. You know, Dirk in jail and stuff. Like, damn, it's like it's getting it's rough, man. Like Chicago's still going through the same situation. Like, we on the outside looking in at everybody else's situation, but we got it. And just don't know how to control it. You know, and if Kanye was to come back here, that would really move it. That'll be the movement right there. He can really change it. You know what I'm saying? That's all you need is one head. You know, it's like the rest will follow. But he out there in New York. He trying to be the king of New York. And nigga come back to Chicago. You from Chicago, dog? Why you out there? I don't want. That's why I'm saying I don't understand it anyway. I don't. My cousin, he a diehard New York fan.
That's skates. He just started. Like,
He diehard in New York. He been talking about that ever since the Allen Houston, the Latrell Sprewell. They ain't gonna win ever, man. You gotta understand what's going on, man. Like they ain't gonna win.
what's going on?
They're not gonna win. They gonna. It's so with New York as far as that basketball. Last time they won, it was shit. Motherfucking Phil Jackson was a player. That was damn near 60 years ago, man. Phil Jackson was one of the players on the team that won the championship. Come on, man. Even when he took over as GM, it was over because he didn't know how to manage that situation. Because, like I said, you know, uh, they jockeying for the top spot. And it's always the medium always gonna be with their entertainment out there versus they sports, and that's the way it's gonna be, man. That's what bring their money in. The hip hop.
I know the Smith name, all that.
That's what brought their money in hip hop, not those sports, hip hop. You know, and that's why they gonna let Diddy out. That's why Trump he already knows that if this man get locked up, it's a wrap for New York. He disseminate everything for them. He keep them together. He got them structured. Like without Diddy, it's over with.
Be vigilant, y'all.
Straight up.
Be vigilant. He say it again.
But it's a battle right now. They got Anobi. I think he got about 12 points since our last check. And Pascal Siakam. They keep forgetting that this dude is a champion. Indiana I knew exactly what they were doing when they got him, and then they started putting the other pieces around him. I'm surprised they let Buddy Hill go. They would have kept him. It would have been it wouldn't even be no discussion right now. They would have swept them because they hit the 1, 2, and 3, and they got a 4. Then that's a bonus goal to acquire Buddy Hill. That didn't work out, but they did. They got the 1, they got the 3, and they got the 4. That's all they needed. They got too much offense, and it's gonna be overpowering for OKC because they going to the finals. I ain't even gotta look at it. I already know what's going on. All they gotta do, PJ, is a seasoned vet. He's a seasoned coach. He doing the same thing that he did with the Dallas Mavericks when he won the title with them. That he's doing Well, I think it was Jason Kidd who won the title with them. One of them. He doing the same thing he did with Dallas, and then it was PJ. That he doing with the Indiana Pacers. He putting the ball in the hands of the people that are clutch. Halliburton really surprised me, but Siakam, that's your closer. Period. They gonna win it. That series of game. They gonna win the game tonight. Because of that reason, they got Pascal Siakam on their team. And Stephen A. Smith know that. I was listening to him, and he know that too. Pascal Siakam is a problem, and they gonna see that when they get to the finals. That man gonna he gonna average about 50. He gonna average about 50. Cause the way Miles Turner is playing, then you got Pascal Siakam. You know, he gonna have about 50. You ain't got nobody really that can defend that dude for his style of play. He like Scottie Pippen. You gotta understand what they get on their team. I understand it. I see it. And PJ letting them loose. I bet he probably got about 20 right now. When I looked, he had 10 points, and I know he had like 12. They can't get no offense from. I told you they can't get no offense from the little fella Brunson. They should have went to the play option and ran that option with Towns and Brunson, just like um, Stockton Malone in this scenario. Nash and Dirk, you know, both of them think they can shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand what their coach doing. You know, he should have ran that whole option, that whole shit, and they would have spread the floor for all their wings and stuff, and the cutters and stuff like that. Bridges would have been a superstar, but he letting Brunson run around and just try to create stuff. Like, come on, man. That's Thibodeau. That's Thibodeau style. He did the same thing with Derrick Rose. He did the same thing with Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose was supposed to be passing the ball under Thibodeau, but he's sitting out there. And Derrick Rose said this on the podcast too. He really wanted to be a facilitator, but you want the Tibbs system. He going with this. He's going with scoring, and they don't get enough. They got Towns out there. They're not even getting no. He not getting no touches. Bridges not getting no touches. Brunson, when he get the ball, he not facilitating the ball, and that's their problem. If you want to run that type of offense, you got to put them in an option because both of them, like, especially you got a stretch big that can knock down shots. He can do everything. I don't understand what he's doing. That's the same thing Tibbs did in Chicago that messed us up. If Derrick Rose, even if he wouldn't have got hurt, we still would have got dropped off because of the way Tibbs' style is. You know, so I've been knew this series was over with. I'm surprised they even got 2 games. But I gotta go back over here, y'all. Now, see what the office is doing real quick. And I'll be back, man. You know what I'm saying? Give y'all some more meat on this. Make sure y'all go check out my podcast when I'm talking about Diddy. I posted it, the live stream I did on Twitch, and then I did the actual video because of the live stream be choppy and stuff. So y'all can go check that out at LCD1 TV. You did